The following talk was given at Mile High Church in Lakewood, Colorado. Please visit our website at milehighchurch.org.
Good evening. It's so great to be here with you all. Tonight is an exceptional night because this is a next-gen focused Wednesday Night Live service. And so we have our next-gen initiative in our community, which highlights leaders in our community in the age range of 20 to 40-ish. And so tonight I'm happy to be with Rama, who is our production coordinator. He is also beginning his second year of practitioner training in a couple of weeks. And Rocio Self. She is a practitioner for the past 5 years, and she has also been on our healing ministry for over 12 years. So thank you both for being here tonight. And so thinking of the stories that brought us to Mile High, for me, it's been an extraordinary journey. I've been here at Mile High for 19 years. My children pretty much grew up here. They were 7 and 2 when I found Mile High, or when Mile High found me. And my story has been, I just started on my spiritual journey in a bigger way. And I was guided to go to a channeling group up in Cold Creek Canyon. By the time I finally listened to that suggestion, it was going to be their last time there, and they'd been there for over 20 years. Interestingly enough, the following month, they met here at Mile High, one time only. And so that's what brought me to Mile High. And when I was here, of course, I was checking out all of the display racks for information about what this place was and what they believed. And I noticed that one of my favorite authors was going to be here in a couple of months. And so we decided to check out one of the Sunday services during the holidays, and it felt like coming home. And so that's a glimpse of what my journey was and how I got here. And how about you, Rama? How did you find Mile High, or how did Mile High find you?
Well, let me just start by saying thank you. What an honor it is to be here on the stage with you and to be a part of these services at Mile High Church, and to have the opportunity tonight to share a little bit more of myself in a way that is not normally seen on the stage. If you see me on stage, I'm usually running off to take a mic stand or something like that. So it's fun to actually engage and be a part of this conversation. So thank you. My journey here started somewhere around 12 years ago, and I came to businesses honoring spirituality. I was looking for a way to promote my business as a therapeutic body worker, and that was my avenue in. And I thought, wow, what an interesting group of people that pray before they start having a meeting. That's different. And as I progressed in my life and was looking for more spiritual connection, I found myself really yearning for a community where I felt like I could have like-minded people to communicate with, be a part of, and have dialogue around what does it mean to be spiritual? What does it mean to be in this pathway of living a life where God is a part of it? And so at some point in that journey, I've met my now wife, and she brought me on a Wednesday night, not too long after the sanctuary was open, and Dr. Patty was here. And I have to say, I was not in the back row with one foot out of the aisle, but I was kind of down over there, and I was a little like, man, what's happening with this place? But overall, it just won me in. It settled into a place of my heart where I felt like that cliche of this is home. This is a place where I know that the way that I believe, how I was raised with a diverse family, a Christian dad, a Jewish mom, and both of them got into Hinduism, thus my name, that somehow in that whole mix of things, this is a church that just honors everybody right where they're at and right with what they're doing. And I felt like I could really step into this and be a part of it. And I quickly jumped in to be on Limits and took the class. And in those 10 weeks with Dr. Roger and Reverend Raz, I was just like, yeah, man, this is right in this teaching zone. This is what I know. This is what I already have in my life. And here's a practice now with Mile High Church that I can put into my life and do it in ways that have a little more structure to them and a little more purpose. And I get to come and regularly see people and take classes and be a part of the dialogue that's ongoing. And so I'm in Prac 2 now to continue that.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You bet.
And how about you, Rocio?
Wow.
How did you find Mile High?
Wow. Thinking about that journey, right? It has been a very powerful journey for me. At the beginning, it all started because, as you can tell, I come from the tradition of being Catholic. Maybe you can't tell, but I was raised Catholic, and then I decided to marry a Buddhist. And I kind of went against the typical way that I was supposed to do things. And so then that put me into inner discovery of, well, who do I want to be now? Who am I now that I have kind of stepped away from the tradition, and what is my life going to look like now? So it began to be a journey when I got married, and then after a few years that I got my daughter, and the feeling inside continued to just continue to ask, what are you going to do now to embrace something that can now support you in your life, given that I kind of changed the rules for my life. So I started coming. We brought our daughter at age she was almost 3. So we were called to come into the youth ministry, of course, and I began volunteering in all the aspects that I could, because I was bringing her there and then doing all that I can, and I pretty much consistently have been coming. She is now almost 17, and she's been involved into just many different things in here, and it's just beautiful to have been given that opportunity to actually raise a child with the belief that they can be anything and embrace anything, embrace all. And it has been for me an opportunity to grow. And more than anything, I needed healing. I needed healing in many ways, and that's what this place offered to me, to really look deeper at the many aspects that make me beyond culture, beyond language, beyond anything that could be beyond the labels that could be put onto me just because of who I am or where I came from. And so being here has just given me the opportunity to embrace it all and to continue to grow and to continue to heal. And now I am happy to be 5 years now. It's my 5th year as a practitioner. And it has been such a journey, and I love it. And yes, there is a lot of growth opportunities always. So,
yeah, I think the growth opportunities are definitely what, at least for me, it keeps me coming back, because I know I'm growing with every class, with every interaction that I have, and with each service, really. Sundays and Wednesdays have really supported my journey. And similar to what you had mentioned, Rama, when I first started, I jumped into Beyond Limits. I jumped into Inner Child Journey. I jumped into becoming a member, all within the first 3 months of stepping foot into a Sunday service. And so I agree, yeah, the feeling of coming home and the feeling of family and community, spiritual community, is what continues to enliven my life. And so what have you found that has continued to support your spiritual journey, or even continued to support and nurture your family along the way?
Well, it's kind of an easy answer in that I can just say Mile High in general. I can just say Mile High. And I really do mean that in so many ways. What I lean into when I'm feeling any kind of doubt or any kind of question or any kind of insecurity, it's coming back into these teachings of what is it to be spiritual, and what is it to believe in the fact that we're all part of something, this thing called the world and life and the universe, and that if God is really everything and it's me, then how do I commune with that, and how do I lean into that so that I can have a place where I'm feeling like I'm being supported right where I'm at with what I'm doing? And that's where I tend to mostly lean into. And it dovetails so well into the stuff that I gained in my life before coming here, of going into nature and feeling like I was most at home in nature when I was really resonating and connecting with earth in those ways and nature in those ways, and then doing other activities, Native American sweat lodges and things of those natures that really kind of, it was a part of my life, and it still is a part of my life, and these teachings just layer right into that. So in any time of those moments that I'm feeling like I need something more, I dig into spiritual practice, getting into spiritual practice.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And how about you, Rocio? How has Mile High Church or Science of Mind supported your journey and created a foundation for your family?
For me, I really can't speak so much about it without going to really ground it into my favorite principle. I think I use it for everything, and anybody who asks, I'll probably talk about it all the time. So it is from the principles of Dr. Ernest Holmes, What You Believe. He says, and this is my way of saying it, that anyone can become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling presence. And that is the core foundation for everything. And when I go into tangents of what is going on and feeling a little maybe disconnected from just things occurring and being a little out of sorts, so to speak, it is the principle that brings me back, and that is the practice, is that as long as I am doing something or being present to that something that is going to get me in that feeling of being in touch with that indwelling presence, that I am going to be okay, and that in that way I can become a greater conduit for love and healing, which is what I do as my calling, to reveal truth, right? To be a revealer of truth. And if I can do it, anybody can do it, because anyone who lives in close contact with that divine presence can be. So it is for me, and it is for everyone, and that's what I see in the people that I see as well, as being a practitioner and being in the healing energy for a very long time. And I'm not going to say that there hasn't been any rough times, but it's the practice. For me, it is deeply, deeply always being in practice, and I've been practicing a lot more. Even if practice means, sit down and cry a little bit and just embrace the feelings that are arising right now. But I feel supported, even reaching out to people too. And I've been talking to a lot of practitioners lately to just have conversations and to pray together, and that has been really good for my sanity and for keeping on going.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, coming back to the present moment is just a powerful practice, and sometimes we easily forget it. So just coming back to the breath. So thank you again, both of you, for being here and sharing your wisdom and your insights with us tonight. So the past few weeks, the past few months have been really interesting. There's been many times where I've been sitting in questions and been sitting in just doubt or uncertainty, sitting in sometimes resistance. Have you experienced any of that? Maybe it's just me. But the past few months, we've been experiencing this profound shift that is happening in our world. And it is creating this opportunity for us to raise up in consciousness, to remember those practices, those opportunities to just come back to center. As Rocio was talking about earlier, coming back to the present moment. And sometimes that present moment has been filled with heartache, has been filled with unrest, has been filled with doubt. And that's totally okay, because the past few months has been an unprecedented change for all of us. Around the world, we've been in this space of unknowing, and we're still in that space. And there continues to be experiences that I feel that continue to remind us to come back to center, that remind us that there's something bigger going on, but we have no idea what that is. I know for me, the past few weeks especially, I've been sitting in the question of what's mine to do. And so tonight I want to share with you and explore this idea of revealing our authentic voice, allowing the voices outside of us, be it social media, friends, family, the news, whatever the voices may be, to turn down the volume of those voices so that we can turn up the volume and discover, or maybe rediscover, our authentic voice. And so for me, the past 6 weeks has been especially challenging. I've been sitting in that question of what's mine to do in regards to the social unrest that we've experienced in our country, in regards to race, And I know that there have been plenty of opportunities to march, to read books, to watch movies, all sorts of, to be in conversation, to learn, to grow, to understand. But for me, all I was able to do for quite some time was just sit in the question of what's mine to do. Because it didn't feel right to just jump on the bandwagon of what I perceived as reaction. For me, that would have been reaction if I just jumped on the bandwagon of what everyone else around me was doing. And so I allowed myself to sit, to feel into the pain that I was experiencing, and to just listen for that still small voice within to guide me to my next step. I know for me, I'm a processor. I don't know, maybe you might be a processor as well. So I need to gather all of the information and sit with it to try to discern what is going on. And so then that way, my own intuition can kick in and guide me to my next step. If I'm not allowed to be in the process, if I'm not allowed to listen and to turn within, then I feel disconnected from my heart center. I feel disconnected from my soul. And I feel that my reaction is perhaps not as grounded, perhaps not as powerful as the response that I could have instead. And so tonight, as we explore how we can turn up the volume of our authentic voice, I have 3 keys that will help guide us along that journey and help us reveal what our next perfect step may be. Now, of course, I cannot answer the questions for you of what's yours to do next. That's for you to reveal in your own way. That's for your heart song to reveal to you. And I know for me, sometimes sitting in the question, it's uncomfortable. But what we have to be willing to do is to lean into that discomfort, because there are answers waiting for us there. What we have to do is be willing to turn down the voices that are outside of us. And sometimes during uncertain times, we're seeking those voices outside of us, perhaps seeking validation, maybe reassurance. Maybe we're seeking somebody to just give us the answer. That would be great. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. But if the guidance that we're given does not fully align with our soul, is it really ours to do in that way? I know for me, during the uncertain times of my life, it was uncomfortable. I like to know the next 10 steps that are coming up, because for me, that creates a sense of safety. Or even having the illusion of knowing what's coming up next, helps me on my journey. But what I've learned is that during those uncertain times, that's when we get to lean in. We get to feel whatever is coming up for us to feel, because again, there's information there. Oftentimes I think we're tempted to just push aside the emotions, push aside the pain, because it's just too much. But when we lean into them and remember to breathe, those emotions subside. And as we turn within, that's where the information that we need is revealed. I don't know, it feels like we're in challenging times all of the time sometimes, because there's so much information coming at us from different places. Again, the news, media of all sorts, social media, friends and family. And have you noticed some of the information contradicts what other people are saying? So how do you know what's real? How do you know what to listen to? When we turn down the volume of the external voices, we are able to tap into that inner guidance, that wisdom within that is always available to us. Within us, we have all of the information that we need in every moment. But so often we're distracted by external sound, external activity. And we forget. I forget. Again, maybe that's just me. But one of the keys tonight is to listen to your heart. In order to listen to your heart, again, you have to turn within. You have to turn down those voices outside of you, even if they're from loving family members or loving friends who only want the best for you. As we turn down those voices, that is sometimes not the most popular choice or the most comfortable at times. But that's the only way we'll be able to listen to our true voice that is waiting for us. It is always there. The question is, are we listening? So listening to our heart. The second key is leave room for God to show up. The interesting thing is that God shows up in just miraculous ways sometimes that we may not even recognize. It could be during our drive to work, and we just notice an amazing arrangement of flowers in a field. It could be in an interaction that we have with somebody at the store. It could be in something that we're reading or something that we're watching, this information or this idea or this realization that just comes through and just feels and resonates true in that moment. But sometimes we're just so busy and that we don't even notice the signs and the support that is all around us. The third key is to hold the vision and trust the process. Sometimes, for me at least, I equate that to surrendering. And sometimes that's hard to do. I might have a little bit of control issues. Or again, I want to know what's coming up next. Or I want to somehow, force the outcome, or whatever the case may be. It's about surrendering. Because during the challenging times, I may not know what the outcome is going to be. But as I surrender, if I just trust the process, I will be able to get to the other side. As I reflect back on my life, there have been many a times where I felt like I was in darkness. I was in this uncertain time. I didn't know which way was up sometimes. But when I surrendered that illusion of control. I was able to make it to that other side. I was able to allow myself to be guided to my next perfect step. And all of the times of uncertainty have brought me to this very moment. And so uncertainty is temporary. We won't get stuck there, even though in the moment it may feel as though we will. And so how about you? Are you feeling that you're in a space of change or uncertainty? Perhaps you're not in the question of what's mine to do in regards to social justice or social action, but maybe the change that is occurring in your life has to do with maybe finding a new job, a change in a relationship, or maybe the uncertainty is about what do I want for my kids for school this fall? I feel there's so much uncertainty going on right now. But if we're willing to just tune in and listen, that uncertainty will become clear. Our lives are this ebb and flow all of the time. And so there are times where we feel like we are flying high and everything's going amazingly. Then all of a sudden there's this unexpected change. And then we are called to adjust. We are called to lean in. So when we are in this time of what's mine to do, what is my next step, my invitation is to listen to your heart. Allow space for God to show up. And hold the vision. Trust the process. You are not alone. And if at any time you feel called to seek support, support is available to you in every moment. Whether it's a friend, a family member, or one of our practitioners here, you want to find somebody who's willing to hold the space for you, hold the light, reflect the light back to you, the light that you are. You want the people who will remind you that anything is possible and that you have all of the answers within you. Seeking support is not about looking for guidance from somebody else who are going to tell you what to do. It's about holding the space. So we are all here by divine appointment. We are all here on purpose. We each have a unique gift to share with the world that only we can share. And so now is the time to allow our own unique voice to rise up. Now is the time to stand in our power and remember that we're here to do amazing things. So listen. Allow God to show up and trust the process. So as I close, I invite you to say with me, I am here on purpose, and I am guided to my next step. I am here on purpose, and I am guided to my next step. And one more time, I am here on purpose, and I am guided to my next step.
This is the time in our service now where we get to move into prayer. That place that Mile High Church, that Science of Mind is really based into and based upon affirmative prayer, our spiritual mind treatment. So I just invite you now to settle into where you're at, to get comfortable, to close your eyes if it feels comfortable to you, and to know that the words that I'm speaking now are not just words for me, they're words for you, they're words for all of us, and they're words for anybody and everybody who is on your heart this evening, who may come into your knowingness as I speak these words. For this prayer touches all of us, no matter where we're at. And so I just take a breath now. And I rest into the knowingness that this universe, that this world we live in, that this vastness of everything, that this is all God, this is all spirit, this is all it is. That God, that the Great Spirit is the thing that unites us all, that touches absolutely everything, that is every vast star, solar system, planet. It's every space in between all those stars. It's that space that's between the cells of my body. It's every single grain of sand on every single beach. For there is no place where God is not. God is the absolute all, that is all, has all. Everything that we name, label, can describe, and so much more than that, that we've yet to even begin to imagine. That this energy, this uniting force that is all, is actually right here as well, right here within me. I know it's in my heart, it's in my being, that I and God are one. And I know this fully for you as well, that we're all united in this thing called life. And it's in this place of absolute truth that I can speak these words, knowing full well that God listens to everything that we say. And it's here that I lean into this relationship with God, this relationship with Spirit. And I know that this relationship is a relationship for all of us, that all of our relationships are ones where we have the opportunity to be compassionate, to listen, to be heard. And it's here in this place of relationship that I know anybody that's seeking greater relationship, stronger relationship in their lives right now, that this is your relationship, that this is now happening for you in this time and in this space. And through our relationships, we gain greater perspective of what it means to have peace of mind. That place where the calm settles with us, whether we're being active or not. Peace of mind in all that we are and all that we do. And so in this place now, I just know that those faces that are popping into your awareness, those names, all of our leaders, that we all are living a life with peace of mind. That peace that passeth all understanding, that settles into our beingness, it's at the core of us. It lines our relationships, it lines all that we do. It brings forth greater love, greater compassion. And in this place of relating, knowing full well that we have peace, we also have health and vitality in our systems. In these times that seem so turbulent, we also know that there is a calm behind it all. And that calm is homeostasis. That calm is the uniting force that allows each and every one of our bodies and the united body of all to be in a place of harmony. That no matter what health challenge may be present right now that might be facing us or we are facing it, it just dwindles away as we know that the truth within the deep core of us is health and vitality. And that all of those who are facing challenge are in also a place that they are being supported with the right people, the right medicine, the right approaches to exactly where they're at to bring forth the greatest healing for where they're at and who they are. Oh, what a gift it is to know these truths, to lean into the abundance that is ever present through all that is, knowing full well the back of everything is God. And that prosperity of God, the prosperity of life flows freely through and in and as us. And this time right now that has brought us to a place of feeling as though the challenges of financial freedom may be far. We also know that the opposite is true, that financial freedom is here for us. And anybody facing a financial hardship right now, we just support you right where you're at. And we know that all is well and that all is unfolding for the greater good. We see your skills, we see your heart. We know that you have creative forces and energy that are rich and rewarded. How grateful I am to know these truths. How grateful I am to have the teachings of Ernest Holmes and the teachers that taught him and the great teachers that came many, many, many years ago. To lean into the faith that all is well and that all is guided by God. In great gratitude for this moment and for all that is, I know that I can just simply place this into the law. That law that is always acting on everything and everyone, knowing full well that these words are so. And by knowing this truth, we can all say together, and so it is. Thank you for listening to the Mile High Church podcast. This podcast is made possible by the generous contributions from listeners like you. If you'd like to make a donation, please visit us at milehighchurch.org. Have a fabulous day.